new setup, a hybrid setup with both Google Hangouts and OBS, which I managed to finally figure out how to do with Captain Frugal this morning. So that was exciting. So I was just listening to That Umbrella Guy this morning, and or just a few minutes ago actually, and I figured I would come on live because it sounded like he was done and perhaps looking for another stream to join. So I really have not much to talk about other than what went down, I guess, yesterday, and hopefully some people will join me. Apologize for not being live yesterday, or I'm sorry, this morning. This morning I meant to wake up early, and that just didn't happen. So let me see. I'm just making sure. Whoop, turn that off. Oh, why did it do that? That's weird. Hey, Indy 500 fan, how's it going? It's so strange. It changed the title here. Let me just change this real quick. I thought I changed this, but apparently not. Let me see. Donations are always appreciated, but never expected. Thank you. Alright, let's put in Comicsgate tag, save, and hopefully that took care of it. Apologize, it's really strange because I changed the title, but it reverted back to my OBS test. So there we go. Oh, it's showing my cursor. Let me turn that off real quick. So doesn't need to be showing. So I was just listening to That Umbrella Guy a minute ago, and like I said, I was hoping to entice some people to to drop in and talk about it some more if they'd like to, or just talk about comic books. Whatever they want to do is fine with me. Video games, anything is perfectly acceptable. But I watched the debate stream. Well, I watched the pre-debate stream on Captain Frugal's channel last night. Sorry, I'm trying to tweet and do stuff here all at the same time. Multiple things going on all at the same time here. And I have to say, I was extremely depressed after the Frugal stream, just because I thought that some of the comments in there seemed to me. Oh, hey, Florin, I'm really live this time, so I'm not doing a test here, but I just wanted to tweet this out real quick while I'm going here. So I thought some of the comments in the Captain Frugal stream last night were somewhat depressing. It seemed like some, I hate to criticize indie creators at all, especially in comic books where it's such a tough thing right now. But I just have to say, some people sounded a lot very, very entitled sounding, and not very appreciative of Ethan's basically helping people. I mean, the concept seems to be at this point that if Ethan doesn't help you, he's hurting you. For those of you who don't know, I'm referring to Ethan Van Sciver, who has a large Twitter channel, 80 or 90,000 subscribers, and he tends to bring on independent comic book creators. Hold on one second. I'm just going to tweet this out real quick. I'm live. Come join and let's see. What am I going to say? And talk some more about the Comics Gate debate and where we go from here. Promise to be positive. So I'll just do that. I just wanted to tweet out the link to this. Alright, so yeah, it was a bit depressing listening to those. They're, you know, smaller creators. I mean, some of them were not acting that way, but a few people were basically complaining that they didn't get to be promoted by Ethan, and you know, that's not his job. That's not what he signed up to do. He does it as a favor to people, and everything that he does, everything that he promotes, I think helps everyone, because if he's promoting an indie creator, people are going to go check out the project, probably. Oh boy! In fact, I see a video dropping from Ethan. Well, let's take a look at that. That might be fun, or even more depressing. And then there was a debate last night on Nick Rekieta's channel, on Rekieta Law, and oh God, I hope this isn't too depressing. Oh, well, what channel was that? Why I'm leaving Comicsgate. Oh, sigh. Oh, I hope this isn't true. Let's take a look here. Let's see. Let's see if I can share this. So they had a debate last night on basically that and whether Comicsgate is dead or not, etc., etc. I thought it was actually very productive, and I was a bit more positive and upbeat after watching that debate. Shoot, what am I doing? I am sharing a different screen. One moment. Actually, let me change that. We are going to share this. Yeah, I'll capture that. And we'll put that at the top. Hopefully it won't be too awful. Let me put that below there. Okay, let me just see if I, oh my, Ethan Sciver put out a new video. Hope it's not too rough. I'm going to put out Umbrella, and let's see, who else do I want to invite here? Probably Captain Frugal, if he wants to. Oh, who else do I watch? think here. Sorry. Mike Miller. I'll just put Abacus Mike in there. Watch it live now. Anyone is welcome to join. Sorry, super quiet, man. Oh, am I too quiet? Sorry about that. I'm doing two things at once because I just noticed this was here. So let me play this and see what's up.
All right, Comicsgate Live is dead. Hey, it's Ethan Van Sciver. Welcome to All Caps Comics, my brand new channel. This is an offshoot of my Comic Artist Pro Secrets channel. This channel is going to be entirely devoted to comic book stuff. The other channel will now be Star Wars. There might be a little bit of comic book stuff mixed in there. It's going to be my pop culture commentary channel. It's going to be how I feel about what's going on. There are going to be a lot of, my usual kind of funny videos and piss takes. But this channel is going to be entirely about, Cyberfrog, All Caps Comics, and my new philosophy going forward, coming out of Comicsgate. I realized last night, and I realized I think today. I went to a soccer game. I watched my stepdaughter play soccer in it's 30 degrees outside. It was freezing and windy, the wind chill. Sitting there bundled up and thinking about the debate I had last night on Nick Rekieta's channel with two Comicsgate YouTubers and the great John Malin, comic book artist, and I think another Comicsgater. And I was thinking about how frustrating that debate was for me, because we're talking about things that are very, very important to me. My philosophy regarding Comicsgate, what it means and where it should be going, is something that I talk about every single day. But Comicsgate doesn't belong to me. Comicsgate isn't my movement. It was a movement started, it was a movement that was necessitated by the far left wing invasion of and then gatekeeping of the comic book industry. It started around 2013 or 2014, and then people started to notice. I mean, certain YouTubers started to notice that this was going on, and they would comment on it, make videos.
By the way, I just want to make it clear, everybody watching should go subscribe to Ethan Van Sciver's channel. It's called Comic Artist Pro Secrets. I don't mean to be video sniping or anything, so I don't want to. Obviously, I've only got 5 people watching, so it's not like he's going to lose a lot of views. But I just wanted to say that real quick.
Videos and criticize it, and really call out the players, call out the people and the books that were specifically, troublemakers, that were key players in this drama of culture war. Now, I was a student of this. I was a professional comic book artist working at DC Comics, working on my Green Lantern book, and watching these videos carefully, because I noticed all of this stuff. I noticed all of this stuff when it happened. I noticed J. Scott Campbell.
Yeah, sorry about that, Trash Fire. Yeah, I don't want to. I think I have it tuned so that the microphone and the video are the same, approximately the same level. So hopefully that's the case. But anyway,
drawing a cover of Riri Williams, the teenage black female Iron Man, and right there in the title, that's the problem, Iron Man. And she did this kind of, I don't know, he had her in some kind of sexy half top or something like that, and she had her hip cocked to the side, and he was pilloried for this cover. And it was just a normal, everyday, kind of mildly, exaggerated female, cover. He was pilloried for it and was made to apologize and redraw it in a way that was not as interesting, not as appealing. And I found that to be troubling. Then there was Milo Manara and his Spider-Woman piece, his Spider-Woman cover, that was also attacked. He was attacked.
This is all new to me, by the way. I kind of started paying attention to I used to buy comic books all the time when I was in college and before that, and that was like 20 years ago. So the first comic book that I bought in the last, after basically not buying any for 20 years, was a comic book called Jawbreakers by ya boy Zach, Richard Meyer. So some of this earlier stuff that was going on. So Ethan was actually working at DC up until last year. DC Comics, working on at least at the end, Green Lantern. So oh yeah, all of this stuff is new to me. I'm very interested in finding out more about what he saw being inside the industry.
And harassed for that piece of artwork, and of course Frank Cho and his job on Wonder Woman, which was taken away from him because the writer of Wonder Woman was a social justice warrior, an activist, and didn't like the way Frank Cho was drawing Wonder Woman. He found it too sexy. He found that Frank Cho was sexualizing Wonder Woman, which, if you'd seen the artwork in question, was absolutely ridiculous. Frank Cho was not sexualizing Wonder Woman at all. This was clearly some kind of weird far left-wing vendetta. It was political, and the artist in question felt that way as well. So this was almost inevitable. This was going to happen. I noticed all of this, and then I started to listen to these YouTubers when I came under fire for being a Republican in comics. And I started to listen to them and was interested not only in their criticism of other creative people. That wasn't my main focus. I wasn't interested in seeing my peers called out. I was more interested in their talking about our behavior as a whole, talking about what our obligations were as professionals, as creative people who are producing a product to the customers. That was always my main line of focus. I was interested in that, and I watched some of my peers misbehaving on social media, and I knew that I too was guilty of that. I had my social media, my Facebook. I used to post agitation prop, agitprop from the Drudge Report, and I would brag about Trump winning the election and all of these things. And I knew that it was turning off a good portion of my fans. I knew that it was making some of my customers turn away from me because they were associating, that behavior, those politics, with the books that I was doing that they were enjoying or they were meant to enjoy. It got in the way of that. Also, I started to notice some other professionals coming into conflict with their fans on social media and saying things to them like, well, I don't want your business anyway. If you believe differently than me, if you have trouble with my politics, go away, don't buy my comics.
So yeah, this is kind of where I came in to Comicsgate and started to follow some people who were talking about this. And to me, I know there's a lot of stuff out there about Comicsgate is this or that. To me, the movement is really about two, or at least when it started, it was really about two main things, and that was that the quality of comic books in the industry was going down rapidly. That the books were just not good anymore. There was just a lot less emphasis on action and a lot more emphasis on sitting around, eating and talking, apparently. So that seemed to be the main focus, unfortunately. And then the second thing that it was about was the creators. When people would point this out and be like, "These comics suck," they're really bad, they're really boring, I don't want to read this anymore, this is terrible, that they'd go out and attack the fans and say, well, I don't want you as a customer anyway, which is terrible. I mean, it's terrible for a business to do, and these people are, whether they like it or not, ambassadors for their businesses, and that's referring to Marvel, DC, Image, IDW, sort of the biggest mainstream comic book publishers out there. So there's a lot, and it's just ratcheted up over time. This stuff on Twitter saying, well, we don't, if you don't like it, don't buy it. We don't want you anyway. So that was my experience early on in Comicsgate.
This being pointed out to me by Diversity in Comics and other YouTubers who were putting out videos almost every single day about this troubling epidemic within comics. This really got through to me, and it had an impact on the way I started to see what my goals were in comics. I wanted that audience. I wanted that audience to be happy. I wanted the audience that felt put upon, that felt isolated, that felt like they were being ignored. I wanted that audience. I wanted to be the one to produce comic books for them, and just say, look, yeah, I think partisan politics do not belong in comic books. They make people feel bad, and that's not what we're trying to do. I think comics should be escapism. They shouldn't be hectoring political lectures. They should be fun. Women should be sexy. The monsters should be scary. It should be sexy and violent, exciting. No more of these heavy lectures and and other things. We need these comics to move around and be adventures, exciting adventure stories. Comics had definitely fallen quite a way, and I watched the sales reflect that. So I signed up. I announced that I aligned with Comicsgate as a professional. And as soon as I did that, I watched my career in comics decline to the point where it became pretty clear to me that I was going to have to go out on my own. Opportunities for me were drying up. I was being told that my peers hated me now. And there were very serious consequences to making that kind of a moral and ethical stand against what I think was happening in comics. I was threatened. I did a public appearance at a pizza place, drew some Batman drawings for people, signed some comics, and the store had bricks thrown through the glass door. Right after I was threatened, if I made an appearance there, I would be attacked. It was very uncomfortable, and I remember this feeling in the pit of my stomach that things were so bad, that belonging to an organization, belonging to DC Comics, was chains around me. It kept me immobilized and unable to protect myself and really speak my own mind and be safe in doing so. And really fighting back. I mean, I wanted to fight back against all of this. It was important to me. So eventually I did leave DC Comics. I left at one issue early, and I was supposed to complete a certain number of issues before I could be let on my contract. I begged to be let go, and I did. I did a comic book called Cyberfrog. I announced that I was going to crowdfund an independent comic book called Cyberfrog, and I was going to follow a strict regimen of behavior based on what I'd learned from the YouTubers of Comicsgate. And sure enough, Cyberfrog raised $628,000. It was enormous. It was a tremendous success. Since then, I have been able...
In full disclosure, I did buy into the Cyberfrog Indiegogo, which is now closed. Like I said, the first comic I bought, independent comic that I bought, was Jawbreakers, and I believe I bought like three issues of three copies of that, and then I bought into Cyberfrog, as well as another one by Nasser Rabadi called Stardust. That's right, Stardust. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Cyberfrog coming out.
Able to use my platform, which was my YouTube channel, Comic Artist Pro Secrets, and then this one as well. I'm going to grow this platform as well, to help other comic book artists who also felt the way that I did, to be able to fly on their own. I have my own marketing ideas. I want this audience, this customer base, this fan group. I want them to be my audience. The rest of the comic book industry may have shunned them and told them to go away and told them not to buy their work. I'm begging them to buy my work. I want your guys' custom, okay? I want your business. I've instructed other people, other creators, on how to do this. How do we do this? How do we adequately serve this audience, which I think is big and growing? And by the way, we can grow this audience from here. How do we do this? Now, Comicsgate, under my YouTube channel, my live streams, has become an engine for young creators and some old creators. I mean, some people, in my age group, Mike S. Miller, John Malin, Doug TenNapel, I mean, really seasoned, established professionals, Mitch Breitweiser, these guys to come out and do their own comics and be tremendously successful, and then serve an audience, a customer base that's actually waiting for this stuff. We found a brand new way of doing it. We have, I think, come under so much fire for this. And I think in large part due to how successful we've been. We have raised over $2 million in 6 months, and we're just a handful of creators.
So if you'd like to take a look at other what projects are out there that are still open for basically comics that of people who are not interested in working at Marvel, DC, any of the big publishers, just go to Indiecron, INDIECRON.com, and there's a listing, I believe primarily on Indiegogo, of independent comic books that are out there. I had something else to say about that. Don't recall. I don't know. I'll think of it.
And everyone who comes on Comic Artist Pro Secrets is very, very, very successful. I think I can get anyone. I've said it before, and it's true. And I was bragging, but it is true. I can get anyone who has a comic book. First of all, I have to make sure it's good enough. But I can get you past $25,000 for your first issue in crowdfunding. That is an enormously successful thing. And most people, when I promote new and emerging writers and artists, and I can get them to $25,000 with their first crowdfunding effort, most successful crowdfunding comics don't even raise $5,000, and most of them aren't even successful anyway. I mean, most of them don't get funded. So this has raised the ire of a lot of people, and what has amazed me and disappointed me is that it has also raised the eyebrows of, and the worries of, and the fear of some people in this community. So last night I did a live stream debate with Nick Rekieta on Nick Rekieta's channel, with John Malin by my side there, and then against two Comicsgate YouTubers who have been highly critical of Comicsgate since we became a part of it. And I tried my very best to explain what my principles were, what my ideas were about Comicsgate. Comicsgate, as I saw it, started out as a movement that criticized far leftist ideals, and has moved on now. I mean, the answer, after you've pointed it all out, after you've proved your point, the only thing that you can do, if you can't change Marvel and DC and Image, and you can't change it, they're not going to change, is to actually create your own model, your own business, create a miniature industry right next to it, and prove that your ideas sell and that your ideas are successful. And the whole idea, the whole attitude, all of the principles of Comicsgate lead to success in business. This is vital. If you don't do this, all of your criticism just amounts to whining. It doesn't end up meaning anything. You have principles, and they amount to no end result. No end result. Now, I think we have proven that Comicsgate is a force to be reckoned with. This audience, this fan base, this customer base has money to spend, and they're looking to support good projects that are fun, don't insult their intelligence, and are well done and exciting, well executed. We've proved that, and it's upset more people than I think I expected it to upset. Now, somewhere along the line, I took it upon myself to use my voice and to use my platform to help a lot of creators succeed. I've done telethons where I have promoted other people's Indiegogo campaigns to success. My friends and people.
Sorry, I'm just going to pause right here, and I'm sure he's going to say this, but yeah, one of the major messages that have been kind of circulating is that if you are a creator, if you want to be successful, that you have to promote yourself, that you cannot rely on people like Ethan to promote you. That's not his job. He has done it. He may be announcing right now why he's not going to be doing it anymore. I don't know, but that's not his job. I mean, he's been very successful at promoting his own projects, and but he started his YouTube channel with 0 subscribers, just like everyone else, absolutely 0, and he built it up over the last year to currently 80 or 90,000, I guess. Well, this is his other his other channel got flagged, so this one's only up to 2.3 thousand. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm not in comic books. I'm a game developer, and I'm trying. I wanted to get into Comicsgate. I've been interested in comic books, and I want to make video games based on some of these comic book IPs, but I have no illusions that somebody like Ethan is going to just bring me on his channel just because I asked him to or demanded to, like some of these people are doing, and promote whatever projects I put out there. I'm starting now to build up my brand and build up my channel and get people interested in what I'm interested in doing, and only when I am satisfied that I have promoted myself enough am I going to launch potentially a crowdfunded project, which I've been considering doing something that may be sort of a hybrid of crowdfunding and venture capital. But if I happen to catch his eye, or anybody, any other larger YouTuber is interested in what I'm doing and they invite me to their channel, I'll absolutely go. I would love additional promotion. I am not going to ask. I'm not even going to ask, let alone demand, that somebody else bring me on their channel. And I'm going to be, I'm happy to promote others, and if anybody wants to promote me, that's great. But I'm not going to expect that or even ask for it. So that's been a huge, huge deal lately, is that all these people are really just feel entitled to, just because they exist, I guess, to go and be on these bigger channels, or I guess I'm sure they're asking, and then if they're not getting the response they want, demanding, and then if they're still not getting it, they're just complaining about it, and that sucks. I mean, it's not he never signed up to promote other people. He agreed to, and he started by promoting his friends, which is normal. And then some other people asked, and he looked at other projects and they were interesting to him, and so he promoted those. Or people were, funny personalities on their own channels, but these were still people who were promoting themselves first. That's where they started, and then he agreed to have them on his daily show. So it's really gotten to kind of a sucky place. So let's see what else.
I don't even know have utilized my platform and my time to succeed. And what I get out of that is a sense that everything that I believe in matters, and it means something to real people. I feel like what we've done with Comicsgate has been a massive accomplishment, and I'm so proud of everyone. I'm so proud of everyone who's been involved. I've gotten friends out of debt with the help of this audience, with the help of this customer base. Together, we raised enough money to allow Richard C. Meyer to successfully sue Mark Waid in court without destroying his life financially. And again, I think we have introduced new and emerging writers to the mainstream of comics, and I think we are slowly becoming the mainstream of comics. We can't help but be the mainstream of comics. This is an enormous audience, and it's growing. Eventually, it will become the mainstream. if we believe in each other and if we stick true to what we're doing. Having said that, when I was explaining this last night, these guys didn't know what I meant. They said it can't all be all about money. It can't all be all about you selling comics and succeeding. We have principles. We need to stay true to this. It's about the customers. And of course, I explain that, look, customers of what? It's like people who want to buy something. There has to be something to buy. So if there are hungry people, I want to be. You guys are allowed to be the guy who criticizes the food industry, the food truck industry. I want to be the hot dog vendor that sells to these people who are hungry. I want to find out what they want to eat, and I want to provide it to them. That's my role in this. And I thought that made me Comicsgate. But I don't think it does make me Comicsgate. I don't think it makes me Comicsgate at all. Now, being part of Comicsgate means that you've been there from the beginning, and you've created the criticism, and that you've been a part of the movement as it's been described and understood. That really hasn't been me. Even though I believe in it, and I've espoused ideas, few of them are my own. I'm repeating ideas that I've heard other people say that I believe in. Like somebody who's been to church every day and who believes in God. I believe in what Comicsgate stands for, and I'm able to, to articulate those ideas and try to get other people to understand them. This is how we can save this wonderful industry that we love, this hobby that we've grown up in. This is how we can save what's good about it and pass it on to our kids. I called that phase 2 of Comicsgate. First you announce what's wrong, and then you create an alternative. I have been that alternative.
So this is a bit troubling. We'll find out what he's ultimately decided here. But I mean, I haven't been in there from the beginning either. But I agree with the movement. So I don't know. I mean, I guess that was sort of the message of some of the people that he was debating last night, is that he hasn't been in there from the beginning. But I mean, okay, well, that's a lot of people. I mean, where do you start with the beginning? I mean, there's one person who started. I guess where does it? I don't know. That sounds really stupid to say. If you latched on to the movement or agree with the movement any time after day one, you're not part of it. So that's kind of ridiculous.
We have been that alternative together. These professionals, these young indie creators that have come up. I think that at this point, I no longer can call myself Comicsgate. I think that has just struck me like a lightning bolt. That's not who I am. I'm All Caps Comics. I'm Ethan Van Sciver. I am somebody who promotes and sells comic books. I'm somebody who listens to the audience. I'm somebody who finds out what a need is, and I fill that need. It is not my place, and it never really has been my place, to criticize what other people are doing. That is not what I want to do. That's not my purpose. It's not my purpose to yell at other professionals. It's not my purpose to yell at anyone, really. It's not my purpose to just say, hey, what Marvel's...
Sorry, I'm turning my mic on and off. I don't want to interrupt with glugging of my drink here. So yeah, Trashfire Comics, not sure if he goes into it in this video, but really the only problem I have with All Caps Comics is that he wants it to just be for his IP. I think we need something close to Image. Well, I mean, I guess I'm not exactly sure how Image is structured. I kind of get it. I don't know if it started out as a single entity. I guess it did, but basically all of the creators that they brought together under the Image imprint had their own companies. So I can see what you're saying here. So basically, if we were to copy the Image model, that basically we'd have, say, let's call it Image 2, and then under that it would basically be a publisher, and other companies like All Caps and Splato del Gato Comics and other comics would basically create their own, and then they would sort of send them up, and Image Part 2, 2.0, would actually do the publishing and send it to Diamond and stuff like that. Now he said that he is creating an infrastructure. I don't know. Ethan's been a bit cryptic about that, and I understand why he has to keep it under wraps so people don't try to interfere until he's sort of able to unveil it, and for it to be, full-fledged top to bottom pipeline to get these comics out to consumers. I don't know if that means he's putting together a separate company that is a publisher like Image 2.0, or if it's going to be Diamond 2.0. I don't know exactly, but yeah, I totally agree with that. Now, I don't think that him promoting his own brand and having All Caps Comics precludes that. I think the two will ultimately need to happen side by side, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, let's see what he's saying here.
Doing what DC is doing here and there isn't right. It indicates that there's a conspiracy, a leftist conspiracy. I believe in all that, and I think that that is true. But that's not what I'm about. That's not what I'm doing, and I think that's where the conflict comes in, and I think that's where the confusion comes in. I am not Comicsgate. I am simply Ethan Van Sciver from Comic Artist Pro Secrets and now All Caps Comics. That is my comic book company. That is the label that I'm going to publish under. And what does this mean? This means that I'm done with Comicsgate. I'm no longer considering myself a part of Comicsgate. I'm considering myself a respecter of Comicsgate and somebody who was, and always has been listening to what the audience wants and trying to respond to their demands by creating a product that they like. That's who I am. I am the reaction to Comicsgate. I'm the response. I'm the answer to Comicsgate. And I realize that we have been all along. So with respect to everyone who is Comicsgate, I'm a big fan and I believe in what you guys are doing. But I think from here on out, what I would like to do is just draw this distinction. When I speak for All Caps Comics. I don't speak for Comicsgate. I never have been a leader of Comicsgate, but people have perceived me to be such. It has made some people feel secure and happy, and other people it has made them angry. Comicsgate should be a leaderless movement. Obviously, it is a movement of people who who are disappointed with the way comic books are right now, and they need to use. You need to use your own imaginations. You need to use your own brains. You need to use and develop your own interpretation of what Comicsgate means to you. Somebody said to me, I told a friend already. Well, I'll just tell you. I told Zach that I was going to do this, and he said. He said a couple curses, and then he said, you taught a baby bird how to fly, and now you're pushing it out of the nest. And I think, yeah, in a way, that goes for what I was doing before. I think that, being a part of Comic Artist Pro Secrets, Comicsgate Live, that channel, and that live stream, I think I showed an awful lot of people how to do this, how to succeed at this. And I know you guys can do it. I know you guys can do it. I'm speaking to other professionals who actually want to sell comics to this wonderful audience that's just waiting to be entertained. I think we spent a long time together doing that. Now, and I know you can do it now. And I know people are building their platforms. I know people are going to be able to do this. Now, recently, because of just how tense Comicsgate has become over so many issues, but this being one of them, I've had that same feeling, that same tight feeling in my belly where it's anxiety. It's like, how can I be all things to all people? How can I make everyone happy? How can I not upset anyone? And that's kind of how I felt when I was working at DC. That feeling is back again, but it's gone now because I'm moving on, and I'm now officially saying I don't represent Comicsgate. I represent myself and All Caps Comics. Now, those of you who believe in the things that I believe in, those of you who follow my principles, like my ideas about what comics should be, and who want to be a part of this, I'm still going to do live streams hopefully soon. I mean, right now I've got a strike on my channel. If that gets overturned, great. I mean, that'll be terrific. But I will still, promote people's comics, doing videos here and stuff like that, promoting my own comics. I'm going to show you from now on. This channel is going to be full of videos showing you in depth how Cyberfrog is coming along. That's all this channel is going to be. Comics, comics, comics. Those of you who feel the way that I do, who want to join me, who want to be a part of All Caps Comics in some way, even in spirit, if not just being published by All Caps Comics, but actually just, you enjoyed those telethons. You want to.
So that was an interesting little thing that he threw out there. I think he's definitely interested in having other creators create other products, other comic books, and publish them under him. So I mean, he's kind of, I think, going to be, or he wants to be, the next Image 2.0. I mean, he just kind of, maybe that's kind of a throwaway line, but I think he is interested in publishing other people through his company. But it is his company. I mean, just like somebody owned Image, I think that's a possibility.
To be a part of those live streams. You want to get together and you want to talk about comics. We're going to do it, but we're not going to do it under the banner of Comicsgate Live. I'm letting Comicsgate go. I'm letting the title go. I had lawyers establish a trademark so that I could hold on to it and protect that name from political extremists who wanted to take it over. I'm letting that go. I'm not going to worry about that anymore. I'm going to let that be everyone else's problem in the universe. My problem is only going to be my behavior, what I do, what I say, how I treat people personally, not the behavior of people of comic skaters before I was ever here, not the behavior of other professionals. I'm only going to speak for myself now, and I'm not speaking for Comicsgate. Just me. So this is my first video on this channel. I'm excited about everything going forward. I'm excited about using this channel to make Cyberfrog drawing videos. And if you guys have questions, this is where it's all going to happen right here. This channel is going to be where those art tutorial videos that everybody wants, the Brutally Honest portfolio reviews are probably going to happen here now. And all of the fun, entertaining, like pop culture stuff is going to be done on the other channel. We'll see how it goes. I'd like to have both of these channels grow at a nice clip, and I would like to stay in touch with everyone and make new friends. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know how you feel about this video. Let me know how you feel about what I'm saying, and what you think that we should do with All Caps Comics in the future. I'd be interested in hearing your ideas. All right, thanks everyone. Bye-bye.
Hey, want to follow me on Twitter? Okay, cool. I'm at Ethan Van Sciver. Talk to you there.
Shill his channel. So
show your friends you support independent comics while showing.
Pause that. Yeah. So yeah, I think you're right. Trashfire Comics. He said published by All Caps Comics. In the past, he alluded to it being his personal IP farm. Yeah. I mean, I think I'm sure that that's the primary concern, is his stuff, and especially with Cyberfrog. Obviously that's all he's got right now, but yeah, like I said, I think he's said multiple times that he's putting together a new how does he put it, basically a new pipeline. So I have a feeling that that he's going to be, I mean, why not? If other people, if he figures out how to publish comics in a way that's better than poor Zach sending them out manually, let me switch back to that. Yeah, if he figures out a better way to publish comics on a massive scale, then I'm sure he's not going to be like, yeah, here it is for free. I'm sure he's going to reach out to people who are interested in doing books that he thinks can be successful, and then publishing them through his pipeline, his infrastructure. That's the word I was looking for. So I think that's good. I think All Caps will end up being the new Image. That's my opinion. Of course, there's Alterna too. I definitely encourage people to look at Alterna Comics. They're basically like I guess they're kind of Image 2.0 or 1.5, something like that. But they do primarily sort of low budget. Yeah, big Alterna fan. Yeah, check out what was it? Let me take a look. Yeah, Psycho KO, CYKO, KO, CYKO. Actually, let me. Yeah, this is a great one that I found. A great comic. I mean, it's brand new. You can like it or not, but let me see if I can show that. So that's there's one from Alterna, but as you can see, 99 cents. I mean, those are sort of the low. These are the budget titles. I think he wants to be a premium publisher, so that'll be great. And it's it's hard, it's sad to sort of say, oh, we're turning, that chapter's over. Time to move on to a new chapter. It's tough to do that. I'm gonna move that up real quick. But yeah, I think it's the best way to go. I mean, he doesn't need that headache. I felt so bad for him last night. He was so depressed sounding, saying, because he went and talked to Nurkish and was like, well, we can't have this shit connected to us. And by us, I think he meant Comicsgate, but really he meant himself, which is smart. He doesn't want crazy stuff on some random Discord connected to him when he has nothing to do with it. And you know what? If that kind of stuff ends up being attached to Comicsgate, obviously I don't want that to happen. I'm sure he doesn't want it to happen, but if it does, it's no longer his responsibility. It never really was his responsibility. So I totally get that. I mean, he's only one person, so I totally understand. I've run a business for about 15 years, and I feel that that pain in the pit of my stomach just thinking about having the responsibility. I think at the most I had maybe 15 employees, and it's fluctuated over the years. But when I have the responsibility not only for those 15 employees but their families, and I'm like, if I fail, I'm not just failing myself and my family, I'm failing them, and what are they going to do? And then if I've had some periods where I've had to let people go because I just couldn't pay them. Business business fluctuates, and it's so painful. It's just like, I know there's big companies where they don't give a shit, but I've run a small business, and when I've had to have layoffs, which unfortunately it's killed me. I stayed up it kept me up nights, days at a time, where I'm like, man, I haven't slept for 3 days because I just can't stop thinking about how I'm failing these people. And then I just had to, obviously had to concentrate on business and succeeding so that I could, feed my family, but also there's, all the people that were left. And so I can imagine feeling the responsibility for, I don't know how many, 100,000 people who are, putting their faith in him to be the leader, even though he's said over and over and over again, I am not the leader of Comicsgate. So I can understand that it's just too much. It's just too much for one person. So yeah, it kind of sucks, but I'm glad that he's going to be concentrating on his product, finishing Cyberfrog, which he said he's going to do before the end of the year, and still going to have his show. I don't know if he's going to rename it. That's fine. It's still going to be, it's going to be the same. It's different name, but it's going to be the same. Sounds like he's still going to promote people, which is great. I'm glad to see that he's going to have, hopefully indie comics promoted on his channel. And yeah, I think it'll be a bit painful at first, but yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I think this is the best move as a whole. Well, that worked out. I think didn't have much to talk about except yeah, just hoping some people would show up. But yeah, glad that he dropped that. That's very interesting. So I guess, unless anyone else wants to chime in. I guess that'll be it for now, and maybe I'll go searching for another live stream. See if anybody else is talking about this. I'm sure they are. So, well, thanks, Trashfire. Appreciate it. You're my number one fan for today. Thank you very much. I guess I will chat later. Hopefully see you in other chats. So take care. Have a good day.